Hey guys, back again with Beatrice here, and we're here to teach you how to handle your snake without getting bit. So not all snakes are like Beatrice here. Not all ball pythons are like Beatrice here. She's just great to be handled. She loves it. She's curious. She's constantly flicking her tongue. I don't think she's ever struck or bitten at me. Not even when I have food in the room does she even attempt to do that. This is probably one of the snakes I trust the most in my whole collection. We have handled her since she was a baby, which is a very important point to take from this, because you want to get them used to being handled at a very young age when they're small, so that if they do bite you for any reason, that it is not as painful. Because if you get bit by a full-size ball python, or any species for that matter, it is probably going to hurt much more than a baby's bite would, and it could have other consequences as well. So let's take a look at how to start by picking up a snake that is in a defensive pose. Hey guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share this video with your friends, and now we'll get back at it. So ultimately you're going to want to start with a snake hook. I got one here, and you can get these at typically any Reptile Expo or any online reptile supply shop. But I've also used just regular feeding tongs for some of the smaller snakes. Now if you're talking like a boa or a berm or one of your bigger snakes, you're going to need a sizable snake hook. But for now, with the ball pythons, I use this most of the time. So we'll take a look at how you make this happen. We're going to start with Jasmine, our blood python. Now she is very young, not used to being handled yet. I try to handle her frequently, but I probably need to do better. But she is one that, oh, she's in her water. She is one that is fairly defensive. Let me zoom in here so you can get a good look at her. So if I touch her, typically she's gonna try to bite me. So now you can see she's on the alert. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take my snake hook and try to get it here and control the front half of her body, and then grab the back half. With her, I like to support her fully, because she's, as I said, not used to getting handled, so we don't want any other stressors other than the stress of being handled. This is what I do, and I will pick her up daily and try and hold her for about 15 minutes a day with as little movement, fast movements around her as possible, supporting her whole body, and I will typically rub under the chin. Snakes feel comfortable under the chin. It's something they're used to feeling touch sensation on. It's when you start to grab them from above or the back or grab at their tail that they become a little more defensive. But yeah, plus it gives me a chance to show you guys off her beautiful pattern. Now she's still defensive. You can see she's in that strike pose. So even setting her back in, you may want to use that hook. It's okay, sweetheart. I'm gonna put her back and we're gonna let her relax a little. So Gertie is in food mode here. I have rats in the room I'm about to feed. So if you've got a snake like this, she's gonna see my heat signature and potentially strike at me thinking I'm food. So what I'll do with the ball python is take this, kind of tap her back a little lightly, and now she knows I'm not prey, and she's gonna back off a little. And then from there, you can pick her up, again supporting her whole body, and avoid being bit. So let's thank Gertie for being a great example here. So we've discussed how you pick up your snake when they are in a defensive mode and when they are in a food mode. But let's discuss how you just flat out get your snake used to you and picking it up and handling. You're gonna wanna start warming your snake up by putting your hand in and not even touching the snake. So I may set her down, set my hand in front of her like this, make sure she's got her tongue flicks and she's in a curious mood and not a food mode so I don't get bit. But she's gonna start getting my scent. And then you slowly increase that. Maybe you go to 20 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, 10 minutes, where you just sit there with your hand in their enclosure and let them get used to your scent. One thing I like to do, take one of my older hats, baseball caps, and I'll set it in there overnight with them so they can get used to my scent. It's something that you do with a dog. If you're training a dog or bringing home a new puppy, you want to put your clothing in with them to sleep with overnight and when you're kettle training them, because it helps that scent helps them with comfort. In here, it doesn't necessarily comfort them, but it gets them used to your scent, and it will associate that scent with, well, it won't associate that scent with danger. After that, then you will graduate to handling your snake, and again, that's going to be starting very small increments of time and slowly increasing once, twice a day, whatever you have the capacity for. But you're going to want to increase, I'd say, weekly, or start with a minute a day, a minute twice a day. Go there for a week, and maybe that next week you're going to increase to 2 minutes a day or 2 minutes twice a day. But that's going to slowly increase your animal's tolerance of you. Much less likely to get an animal who strikes out. And what you want to do to start with, you don't want to like come down on them from above and over their head. They're going to potentially want to flee or get defensive, because that's how predators get them in the wild. So what you're going to want to do is come from the side as much as you possibly can and kind of scoop up the back end of the snake. Once you have the head in control, and then in all of this, gloves are always an option. There are bite-proof gloves, or any kind of, even like a leather gardening glove should protect you, especially from a smaller snake like a ball python, some of your smaller colubrids. Your bigger snakes, you might want to get the bite-proof gloves. Now let's talk about if you do get bit. Hopefully it is a smaller guy. I got bit the other day. I posted a picture on Instagram of it, of a little guy who missed his mouse and struck my thumb and wrapped my hand. Now, first thing I tried was putting him under running water to see if he would let go. That did not do the trick. He was hungry and held on. So the next thing I did was grab some hand sanitizer with my other hand, got a little bit and made sure to get a little drop of it into his mouth so he would let go, and that did the trick. I've heard vodka working. I haven't tried it myself. That's the first time I've ever had to do that, honestly. Usually they bite you and let go. It's usually in a food response, and once they find out you're not food. But I think because he got my thumb and it's roughly the size of his prey, it was a hatchling, he thought he was having dinner. And it didn't hurt. It was this thumb. You can see there's no marks, no bruising, nothing. It bled a little at the moment, a little afterwards, but it doesn't hurt that bad. In fact, my son was laughing at me because instead of getting the snake off, I decided to snap a picture and post it on Instagram instead of getting the snake off first. That's how bad it hurts. Now, if you do get bit, how should you care for it afterwards? The main thing is going to be warm soap and water for most. Your pythons, your non-venomous species, warm soap and water. Keep an eye on it. If you start to suspect an infection, then you go to the doctor and they'll more than likely prescribe you antibiotics and take care of it. Now, if you get by a rare-fanged venomous, these are typically have varying degrees. Now, your hognose, your false water cobras could be a little more severe, but you're going to want to, again, warm soap and water initially to clean the site of the bite, and then from there, keep an eye on it. Now, if you're allergic to bee stings, I might go seek medical attention pretty quickly just to make sure you don't have any allergy to the venom that they're providing, but most do not see much more than swelling. I know I was bitten by a hognose before. I didn't even really notice swelling. So they're pretty mild when it comes to humans, the venom that they have. And because they're rare fang venomous, they have to chew that venom in. So they kind of have to sit on you for a minute there and chew it in. So the longer they're on you, the more severe that's going to be. And lastly, if you're bit by a venomous snake, immediately seek medical attention. Do not start with soap and water, start with calling 911, or start with having somebody drive you to the hospital. It wouldn't be a bad idea if you're doing that, to call the hospital ahead of time, let them know you're coming in, because you're going to want to have them prepared for you. If they have antivenom, otherwise they may have to fly it in from somewhere else. And typically hospitals are only going to keep antivenom for the snakes that are native to that area. So guys, here's the little stinker who bit me on the thumb the other day and wrapped me, I was telling you about. And I wanted to give you a good size comparison of this probably 6-month-old baby. So this isn't even a new hatchling, versus Belle, who's a full-grown female ball python, and she's probably the largest ball python we have. And just to give you an idea of that size difference, and even the head size there, that's the comparison. Coming up, we've got a few shows next Friday, so less than a week away now, and we will be at the Hiawatha Library in Hiawatha, Iowa. We'll be doing 2 shows, one from 1 to 1:40, and then the second one from 2 to 2:40. So come on out, see us, maybe get a chance to see some of these beautiful reptiles. We're going to be bringing some new stuff compared to what we've done with the previous educational shows. After that, we will jump in the car, hightail it over to the Chicago area for the Tinley Park NARBC. Now, if you are going to be at the Tinley show and you guys are at all interested in any of the snakes up on MorphMarket, hit me up, Instagram, Facebook, or MorphMarket, email, let me know, and we can arrange to meet so you can avoid shipping costs. Thanks for watching. Check out this video here, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.